Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Child of Light. Now I have run around the area once, pretty much. I basically started at the Temple of the Moon and just ran forward looking for a few Stardusts and some coffers and just taking on every fight I could do. It wasn't really that many fights, really. Each fight is just too long and annoying. Uh, so, what this has gotten me up to is I have a Starlight 3 and a Starlight All 2 for uh, our main character, Aurora. And then I want to take Jin. We haven't been using Jin, but I saw when I was looking up a strategy as to beating the boss. They said if we can get Paralyze All to work, you can basically take no damage at all. Just paralyze all, cast magic on her uh, to refill her magic, drink a potion basically. Yeah, don't cast a magic spell to replenish her magic, just drink a magic potion to replenish her magic, and then uh, cast Paralyze All again, and just let Nora do all of the damage on uh, Starlight All, or just Starlight Regular. Now, what I'm realizing is counterattack as a passive skill and Light Ray would have been way better path to go to. But to even finish this path, each square is going to cost 2, so I would need 5 more levels. I'm at, when we look at our party, 51, 49, 50, 50, 51, 52, 56. And even though Jin is at 56, she's not extremely further than anybody else. As far as Oculi, I have spell power plus 25%. Right now, earn an additional 20% from that, and begin each turn of 30% on the timeline. So let's take that off and see what we can put here. Increase speed for 1 turn if interrupted. This increases chance of dodging, increase spell power, 20% from each battle. Reduce physical damage by 15%. Yeah, this one wouldn't work because we're not defending. You can pretty much see, as far as our oculi, we haven't done a great job still of improving things. Since this is the final battle though, I don't think we need the diamond. It would increase our speed and our attack, and it would increase our casting speed by 12. Begin each turn with 30, spell power 25%. Increase, we will take this off and do this instead. Increase casting speed by 12%. That'll help. So we're gonna try this, and I've been grinding, like I said, for probably 2, maybe 2.5 hours. I could go through the map again. You really can't even. You might as well just start at the Palace of the Sun and work your way backwards, because the fights become so quick and you get so little experience as you move backwards that right now only the Palace of the Sun is of any real value. which would indicate that we should be able to win this game, and yet for some reason we weren't able to before. So we're gonna take on the fight again. Ideally, this is gonna be the final recording of this series, but possibly this is just going to be yet another example of where we've gone as far as grinding. This RPG in particular is not well suited for grinding. So for the game not to, in many different ways, allow for grinding or require it is weird. And they've really just done the old mistake of RPGs and minigames where the boss was just too hard. So if I could have gotten Paralyze All up to 3, it would have delayed them acting for 10 seconds. I think with Paralyze 2, it's going to delay them acting for like 5. So it may not be that I'm actually at the highest level. Paralyze All here, and then just Starlight. Well, that already isn't going well. Let's see. How about this? Let's start with an Unstoppable All elixir. Then a Paralyze All. That was another strategy that was suggested. Alright. Looks like that might work. Act. See, I have this backward slam, but usually, if I use it, they'll start moving. So, watch the timeline here before we get... actually, instead of doing this, let's try Haste All. Oh, we don't have Quicken All, so we will Quicken this one. Act. See, so I don't think Paralyze All would have worked there. Okay, let's go ahead and heal up our main character. And we will take this, heal up this character. We needed the magic. Alright. So Paralyze All. And then Starlight All. Still not fast enough. We have the Unstoppable. Let's see. So I'm wondering if we can try a haste on ourselves. Or maybe we should do a lull on the main one. No, let's start with just a haste. So that was Quicken, is what they're calling it in this game. Myself. Now that we've got this Quicken together and this together, let's go ahead and heal this character back up and get some more magic and use that. Paralyze all. So right now I'm not feeling like I'm getting my behind handed to me. Let's see. I just need to do a full magic potion here on myself. Now I can do another Starlight All. Now this, we need to renew the Paralyze All. So we've gotten one of the characters destroyed already. We've got the other one done. So now I don't have to do Paralyze All. I can just do Paralyze, which is a little bit faster and a little bit less magic. And now I don't have to do Starlight All. I can just do Starlight, which is a bit faster. Let's see. So we go here and we get Potent Magic Potion on ourselves. Starlight is the last one, so I'm gonna have to skip a turn to give myself some magic. But the right move is still to paralyze this character. So we're definitely seeing here, versus the two fights before, because of this whole weight system and all of this. We've got this battle in the bag. What? I don't know what happened there. I must have not been paying enough attention. So, potion. I did a potent healing, I think, on myself. On this character, get the magic back up, and then we will do a potent magic on this character to get her back up, and then since we can't do anything in the meantime, I'll slash. And she's down. So I'm really glad that I didn't grind any more in the game and only put about 2 hours, 2.5 hours at most into grinding. And I did kind of have that feeling, but I wasn't 100% certain that if we just got like 5 levels up that we would be able to do it. And we probably still wouldn't have been able to do it if we hadn't used Jin. And that's just really broken. I'm sure if we had gotten 10 levels up, we could have used any 2 combination of characters. But the paralyzing seems like an overpowered ability. Anywho, I think we're done, so let's read this. I only wanted a home, someplace I could call my own. In this world, for ill or good, we live together, not alone. The Duke is dead. The flood waters rise. The people on 5 hills cry. The end is prophesized. I need volunteers to follow me. Are you joking? Course I'll come. The advantage lies on your side. This'll be more than fun. By my honor, let's go inside. We'll tumble on through. It's what we do. through the mirror into the mud to rescue my people from the flood.
The bell tolled 6 on Easter Sunday. All looked quite lost. The people cowered on 5 hilltops that were nearly undertossed. As the icy deep rose to meet them, who should unexpectedly appear but Aurora resurrected, with a host of creatures queer. Lickety-split, the group split up, and in less than half an hour, Aurora and her friends led the people up the castle tower. They entered to an empty room. The water lapped at their feet, no way out except to drown. Their doom they were sure to meet. But of course Aurora smiled. Before their eyes, astonished shed, to a mirror she led them, and they stepped through it instead. From that day onward in Austria, only a small island remained. My people safe in Lemuria, their future regained. And Lemuria began to grow again, each of us leading together. Soon it will be your turn, princess, to leave on an adventure. Now, my dear, the fire has died, the night is dark and deep. Close your eyes, let go, and drift off to sleep.
Ubisoft Montreal production. So, in one part of the city you have Eidos Montreal making Deus Ex Human Revolution, and a song. Then they have Ubisoft Montreal making this game.
The stars that shine in your eyes, and don't let them go by. Fly on, you golden girl, and take on your fears. I'll be with you in your dreams. The world is darker than it seems, and I'll be waiting for the light that guides us through the worst of nights, and I'll be waiting for a sign you're coming back, and you have found your path. I know that you've seen the worst. Your heart's been torn before. Those creatures won't let you go, so hang on to what you know. So sail on, you golden girl, and fight against
Dialogue
the
supervisor?
fear.
Okay, we're gonna have to talk about the dialogue supervisor for a second.
I'll be with you in your dreams of a world without a queen, and I'll be waiting for the light.
This seems like a pretty decent team of people here. Although the orchestral music is getting pretty much the conductor and every player mentioned, so they may be just stretching out the credits a little bit. Localization would have been probably a nightmare trying to have the words rhyme, but it wouldn't surprise me one bit if the other versions don't really rhyme at all. And since it was made in Ubisoft Montreal, the only other language I could think of that might be its original language would be French. Although it could be that it was originally a Japanese concept game, but then why would it say Japanese translation there and be a third-party job? So that can't be true. Quality control, people have some explaining to do. Not because this game was buggy, but it just wasn't fun. And I think people caught on to that as I played through this. This feels very much like an RPG that got pushed out halfway through, or the beginnings of a concept of an RPG, or somebody said the insane thought that they wanted to make a small RPG, which makes no sense and doesn't work at all. The story is god awful in this game. Not because the father died, not because all the sisters and the mother were wicked, which is just so cliche. This whole thing is such 4th grade level cliches, but it is just nothing. And then on top of it being nothing, they put in this ridiculous rhyming for the entire game, which would not have been interesting for even one character to rhyme throughout the game, not let alone every character. It wouldn't be interesting for somebody to rhyme more than a paragraph's worth of sentences. I will give you a magical puzzle that rhymes. I'll go that far. If there's a riddle and it rhymes, I'll go that far in the game. But I would never have a character go what was probably about 20 hours in this game, maybe a little less, but I played this according to my save file. It is over 21 hours, but I did pause at some places and take breaks. But the rhyming is so bad, and the fact that the rhyming is not voiced at all, that's on top of ignoring the fact that when text did pop up and it wasn't the dubbed important story text, it would just pop up wherever the character was, and move so fast I couldn't even read half of it. I thought this might be like the Odyssey, when I saw someone say it was like a poem, that we would go through this whole game and you might actually want to look at all of the dialogue in order and read it as a long epic poem. No, this is just garbage. Alright, so the story's terrible. The graphics are fine, but there's a major caveat there that every single character except for Aurora is just your standard, like, what kind of characters can we make? We made a gnome, we made a rat person, we made spiders, those were the enemies, and so that if they're not the most cliche of characters, I would say that they were somewhat unique in their characters' designs. They're not super unique. I'm sure if you read the Dungeons and Dragons Monster Manual 1, you could find every single character that we saw. They were fine for what little we saw of them, because they really didn't show up that much. My main problem is Aurora herself. We go at the beginning and we're playing as a little girl named Aurora. Then we, halfway through the game, become a young lady named Aurora. And then near the end, we become the light princess Aurora. It's like, I didn't need that. It could have been the light princess Aurora at the very end if you wanted to show a transformation, but we really didn't need it, and it didn't do anything as far as add any abilities or spells. The ability to fly added way too early in this game. We could, in gone all the way to the Sinbel Sea and not had to fly if the thorn tree wasn't there. And they had simple elements like ladders in this game. And I think that would have been a way better way to do this if we had gone all the way to almost the last area with no ability whatsoever to fly, and then we got flying, and then we had a reason to run all the way back, or we got thrown all the way back and we had to fly from there, and we found all kinds of coffers, which coffers is a weird name, but I'll leave that one alone instead of chests. Stick with chest. People know that phrase a lot better than coffers. So yeah, the handing of abilities like that was pretty bad. We couldn't really legitimately have unlocked all of the skills. That's very typical in old style of RPGs where you only lock maybe 1 or 2 tiers, and I barely got to the point where I could unlock 1 and almost a second tier. I did not get any second tier of the 3 tiers for any character skill tree unlocked. And that includes grinding. The battles in this game, I hate this style. If I saw a RPG game where the battles go to their own menu, I'm going to think very hard before I buy or play that game. I'm also going to think very hard in general just playing RPGs. There's a difference between Skyrim and this type of game. When you play Skyrim, it has been optimized and sped up quite a lot. Fallout 3 is not as fast as Skyrim, but it still would have been faster in the fights than this. This is just so old school, and it's not the old school elements that we wanted to keep. It's the old school elements that we got rid of. Inherently, we have to say, just the fact that you have to install Uplay says this is a no-go for a game. You would have to be a super fan of RPGs and not want to play possibly a cheaper looking but maybe longer, maybe better Steam RPGs, because Steam is just crawling with people that make RPG Maker games, and I would say this Child of Light should be on your bottom of the list. You could probably spend less money and do better rolling the dice on one of them. Of course, look at reviews. Alright, that was the credits. Let's continue with the story. I think my heart might make a do. Now she is a queen through and through, but she forgot to talk to you. She has more important things to do. Watch over Lemuria. Goodbye, my queen, Aurora. I couldn't talk to her. That's irritating. So, is there anything we could do? We could try to look at the old monastery and see if maybe she'll show up here. Nope. So unless she's hiding somewhere, unless my mother is hiding somewhere, yeah, this door is still locked. I'm not shocked. Yeah, there's nothing I can see that you'd want to do. Just try and find collectibles, I suppose. So let's quit to the main menu. So, 21 hours and 58 minutes according to the save file, so we probably would have done that. You are given the opportunity for a new game plus. That is slightly good. I could understand that. That would allow you to continue fight new enemies. Hopefully the enemies, well, almost certainly the enemies would be more difficult and all that. I would see no reason to do it though. I mean, I'm already saying this game is not worth playing because of Uplay. I'm already saying it's not worth playing because of the story. The music is good. I can't really say anything wrong with the music, but the audio is bad because they didn't voice any of the terrible dialogue, which would have helped it a little bit. If this was the same game and all those things were changed, it wouldn't be the same game. Even if all those things were majorly improved upon, the game mechanics are just not what I want. Definitely. The name of this game is wrong. Literally. Calling it the Child of Light and then turning it into a teenager or adult later in the game just messes it up. And what if you were going to make a sequel? You couldn't call it Child of Light 2. You would have to call it Lady of Light, and you probably wouldn't get away with that. Or Queen of Light type stuff, which maybe you would get away with that one. Maybe you could get away with both. I don't know. When you look at this intro, and from the name alone, you would think, or I would think at least, that this was going to be a story of a girl doing very childish, like RPG things. We would get like fetch quests to go find a Christmas present for somebody in the village, or we would have to fight tiny little bugs and frogs and things like that. And that's really not what this was. This was a little girl that was in the danger of the exact same amount of danger and fighting the exact same creatures as if it were any other RPG main character. So, yeah. I could see somebody wanting to make it like your first or baby's first RPG, but that certainly wouldn't be this game. This game was way too hard. It had way too big words in it. And I don't know if anybody sees a market where they could actually make any money that way. On top of that, if you get kids young enough, they like to repeat things over and over again. They might hit max level a lot faster than you would expect. Every single one of these images isn't really in the game, and well, maybe a couple of them are, but they're not what the game's about. Well, this has definitely been a frustrating one, and I don't really have anything more to say about this game. It's a big old thumbs down for me. Uplay immediately puts a thumbs down. You would have had to make a very good game for me to get over the frustration Uplay put me through at the beginning. But even setting that aside, this is just a D rank if I gave letter ranks, which I might start redoing because I've said that in a couple of series now, but Anywho, this is basically a D minus game, borderlining on F. It's playable. You can play from the beginning to the end. It's just not fun. I cannot believe we never got all 6 of the characters in a fight. That final fight would have been majorly improved if we just had all the characters there, and that would have totally explained why the evil queen was so fast. If she was that fast and she had like it was a 7-on-7 battle, that would have been pretty amazing with all of the heroes circling her. But no, it's throughout the whole game just 2 against 2, or 2 against 1, or 2 against 3 at most. And I've never played an RPG where it was just 2. So I'm gonna definitely think hard before I play my next RPG. I have some series. I do have Skyrim, and I will play that at some point in the future. But I'm probably gonna take a break after this one. So that's the series. Not every game I cover I like. Most of them were hand-picked, and I did hand-pick Child of Light because I heard people talking about it, but I didn't remember what they were really saying. So it was big enough and they put enough advertising in it that its name stuck in my mind, but I didn't do the research. And it's probably not a terrible thing for my channel if I do play some bad games every now and then, or just have some less than perfect experiences with some games, so I don't sound like I'm just always saying games are great. You could have made a great game here, but not using, I would say, 90% of what it is in here. You would have had to done a major rework, and that's probably what my guess is. What happened is that they got halfway through with an RPG game. They knew it wasn't going well. They were probably getting feedback from video game testers and quality assurance testers saying, this isn't fun, we're not having fun with it. And instead of trying to expand it to a longer game, which it definitely should have been, for any RPG needs to be at least twice as long as this game. It needs to have twice as many enemies, twice as many areas, just so you have more to do and more to look at. And I bet that's what they were planning on doing. There is a DLC that I don't have for this that I probably won't get, that gives a separate tale. I think it's pretty much just a standalone side mission where you play as that giant monster, I think. I could be wrong about that. I certainly wouldn't get that. I wouldn't get this game, so why get the DLC? There was some other garbage DLC, obviously. As we look here, we can't change Aurora's dress because that's all just things. I wouldn't ever play this on expert. It was difficult enough on that final battle. I bet all the downloadable content on this is garbage. Just stuff. So yeah, that's Child of Light. Okay, so as always, I ask you to like this video. I ask you to share it with your friends. I ask you to comment if you want to. Let me know down below if you don't agree, if you really did have a fun time with Child of Light, and let me know why. What caught you about it? What were the elements compared to other RPGs? Because I have played other RPGs. And then comment below and watch every second of my videos because that helps me with YouTube. Then click on my name, Rydo. That will take you to my main YouTube page. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. If you would donate, any amount would be greatly appreciated. Also on my main YouTube channel is my playlist tab. Click that, see all those playlists I've done for other games, and check out a different series. Almost all my other series to this point have been of games that I've really enjoyed. The only other game I can think of that really frustrated me was FTL, Faster Than Light. So they don't usually end this way. Usually I have criticisms, but not just downright dislikes. And yes, we will start another series at the same time, either tomorrow or Monday if today happens to be Friday. I don't know, I record in advance, so who knows what day this will air. Even I don't, I guess. And then finally, I do need you to follow and friend me on all those social media sites. That helps you see exactly when new videos come out, and it lets me become more popular on those services. Shows the big wigs that I am a growing YouTube personality, video game critic, whatever. I think I'm more of a video game critic than a personality. So there's a bunch of links down below for Facebook, Twitter, Google+. You can friend me on Steam, which I do want friends on Steam. You can friend me on Battle.net, which I do want friends on Battle.net. So click on all of those. Remember, I release new episodes every Monday through Friday, so there probably is some more coming up very soon. Well, almost guaranteed there's more videos coming up very soon. I have a lot of videos recorded, and I am going to record a lot more, so make sure you're subscribed and stick with me. That's it for this series. That's it for Child of Light. I'm going to put this one on my list of games I'm done with, and probably never come back to it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for going through this journey. You were spared a few hours of grinding, which would have been not really that fun for you to watch. Let me know in the comments if you really did want to watch me grind. All I did was run around and look for chests and fight every creature in sight, which you've already seen multiple times. Anywho, that's it. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.